Mr. Ram, so good to have you. What a privilege to have you on the show. I should say that it's such a privilege to have you, and the meeting that we had with you yesterday, I need to tell you that we felt that you are such a caring man, you are such a loving man, and we felt like being in your office is like being in your family. Would you like to tell the viewers a bit about yourself? Obviously, I will tell them that you are the group CEO of Choppies, the mighty Choppies. But obviously, people would want to hear it from your own words. Who is Ramachandran? And where did you come from? You were telling me some very interesting things yesterday, and I don't want others to miss this. Would you feel free to start talking?
I'm a proud Botswana.
Right.
Struggling to meet end in Botswana by running a business.
That's a good one.
So I thought it's better we have some lighter moments before going to the serious interview.
Definitely.
I came to Botswana in 1992.
Right.
I was born in India in a very, very poor family. When I say poor family, is my father didn't have a regular income, and I studied in a government school. I started learning English at only on standard 5, because those days in a local Oriental language school, English is taught only from standard 5. Then it was a struggle until I finished my CA. So we used to walk to a school 3-4 kilometers every day. In monsoon, sometimes instead of walking, you need to swim, because you go through huge waterlogged places to get to the school.
Walking barefooted?
Barefooted, for sure. We had no electricity. Okay, I got electricity connected when I was just about to complete my matric. Until then, we used to read in the, we call it paraffin lamp. In India, it is called kerosene lamp.
Okay, kerosene lamp.
Kerosene lamp. I did my school in the village, then in a village called Olur. Then we moved to for higher education. My pre-degree, they call it pre-degree. It's like a pre-university. That's done in a town. There also we used to, most of the time we used to go barefooted, but we need to go in a bus. The distance was not something you can cover by foot. Right. So I did my college, I did my BCom, then I joined for CA. Many people, I myself thought I'm not going to make it, in the sense the family pressure and economic pressure was too high to complete the course and come out. But I managed. Wow. It was a struggle.
Wow. And then your journey from India, I know that things were, not the same. It's not the same India by the time you came to Botswana.
Yes, India was almost like a bankrupt country in the early 90s.
Right.
One fine morning, IMF devalued the currency by 30%. So it was really difficult economic conditions those days. So everybody who's qualified professionally was trying to get out of the country. It was only natural at that time. Then I got a job offer as an accountant from the current massage firm. It used to be called as Acme. Then later on changed to Restaurant and now to massage.
Interesting.
The managing partner is from my place.
Right. So many times people say, I don't want to work for anybody. I want to be my own boss. It looks like for you, you actually started as an employee and then you become an entrepreneur and you become a group CEO. What advice would you give to people? Is it okay to take a job, or you can just start off without working anywhere?
You have to have some start, humble beginnings. I would say it's always to have a start. And once you establish and you find that, yes, this is what I like to do and this is where my passion is, or this is what I'm enjoying the most, then you take that as your career.
Right.
And not only career, it's just you immerse yourself in. Okay. Then you don't differentiate between life and work.
Okay.
Too much of a differentiation will cut your productive hours into the business or into the career. Let me put it that way, into the career. Even if you are a sportsman, you need to put in that much effort to get into the real game of the game.
Game of the game. Interesting stuff. So how did you get into business? Were you always entrepreneurial? Were you always thinking of becoming an entrepreneur?
Initially, it was just struggle to meet the ends.
Right.
Then I got a job here as an auditor, and I started with Choppies Group. The current Choppies Group had one store there. Okay. I got deputed by the accounting firm to do the accounting work. That's where the relationship started. And when we had the opportunity to grow the business, they gave me a stake in the business. We started turning things around.
Wow. Yeah. How was it like to start with that one little shop in Lubate, right? Yeah. How was it like?
Those days it was a big struggle, but I was not that concerned in the sense I'm a qualified accountant. So even if something goes wrong, it's still fine.
Okay.
Young and confident. Yeah, if this doesn't work, something else will work.
Wow.
Right? So we were not having any problem in taking decisions also.
All right.
We could change it around, we could move it around, and the youth also helps you to take the bold moves.
Right. Bold moves, taking risks. Interesting. So what would you say were some of the challenges that you faced as a small businessman, and how did you solve them? Because I know that there are people who are watching us. Some of them have lost their jobs. Some of them are fresh graduates. Some of them are running small, medium and micro enterprises. And they want to know, what are some of the challenges that Mr. Ram faced when he was starting?
It was like managing hour by hour. Okay, not even day by day. Okay. It was so difficult. There was no guarantee that the business will survive one day. Initially, it was so hard.
Okay.
But as the time goes by, and you don't lose hope, you just say that this is our journey. We're going to get it right. And
right.
Everybody puts in effort to get it right.
Wow.
So,
wow.
And don't get disappointed by short-term setbacks. Setbacks are part of the business. You need to have, what is an entrepreneur's reward? Is profit.
Profit.
End of the day, be realistic. What is the profit? You got challenges in business. You face the challenge, you overcome the challenge, and you make it a success. That is why you're getting rewarded higher than a normal employee.
Okay. Wow.
That's what it is.
Wow.
If you don't take the challenge and you don't take the risk and you sit back, you live in a comfort zone, or you set a framework, you're going to be in that framework. Okay. Then your income and your prosperity also limited to that framework.
Okay.
So once you expose yourself and you taking the challenges head on and resolve and successful, the successful person will become part of the history.
Okay, perfect. So I know that you are a very caring man, and there's a lot you are doing to empower young people, and even not only young people, but all people in general. What are some of the challenges that you see that particularly we young entrepreneurs, what are some of the weaknesses, the mistakes that you think we are making, and what could we do if we want to get to the level where you have gotten to?
Don't bother about the mistakes, okay?
Okay.
The man who works only make mistakes.
Okay.
Okay. If you don't work, you don't make any mistake.
Okay.
I always tell our people that do not bother about the mere fact that consciously you say that I made a mistake. The correction process will start within yourself that I made a mistake, next time I won't make that mistake. Okay? Do not worry about the mistake.
Right.
Do not expect anything from a third person. Whether it is your family or you say that I'm in this journey. Okay, I want to take this ship, push it from this point to that point. Okay, and don't look at anything else. Do not expect anything. Just start moving. Think that this is a lonely journey. Okay. If you get help, the speed of the movement will be better.
Right.
If you don't help, also it is going according to your plan.
Interesting. So
nobody is going to do for you.
Nobody is going to do something for you.
You have to do it yourself.
It's a lonely journey.
It's a lonely journey.
If somebody helps you,
well and good.
well and good. If nobody helps you, keep moving.
Still on the right path, on the right pace.
That's a very good one, because many people say, I can't start business, I don't have capital, I can't start business, nobody cares about me, So I think you have clarified that very well to say this is a lonely journey. Be willing to be responsible. And then when you make mistakes, don't worry about the mistakes. It's part of the journey.
It is part of the journey. Man who works only makes mistakes.
Right. Interesting. All right, so the Choppies journey is a very, very interesting journey. Would you like to tell us a bit about, starting from one shop and how you grew, the partnerships on the process, the collaborations, and, to where we are now?
Yes. Until I joined here in 1992. Okay. Right. Until 1997, it was really difficult.
Okay.
The company was not having good finances in place. The banks were putting us under pressure, suppliers were putting us under pressure, but we stayed the course.
Right.
97, towards the end of 97, things started turning around.
Okay.
All the debts starting to disappear. Then we started having some form of progress. 98, 99, we could open a store in Habaroli. That started changing.
So you mean you had one shop from 1992?
92 to 93, we had a second store.
Oh, 93, you had a second store. Okay.
From 93 to 98, we had only 2 stores.
Okay.
The third store came in 98.
Okay.
In 2000, end of 99, we had only 3 stores. Yes.
Interesting.
From that, the real growth started from 2000.
So for us young entrepreneurs and business leaders, we need to be patient and persevere.
For sure.
Because
you don't look at the tech exponential growth in the Silicon Valley, but that was just one of things.
Right.
You can't have those type of successes every day repeated.
Right. Interesting. So we shouldn't just look at you and say, you know what, tomorrow I can wake up being a group CEO like Ram.
You can.
I could just come to you and say, Ram, give me one nugget that will make me successful. And you just look at me and you'll be laughing. Man, it's not one nugget. There are so many of them.
There's so many of them. Not only that, look, there can be a success like that, but those are one in 100 billion or one in a billion.
Right. Interesting. So you now grow Choppies in Botswana to several shops. You expand to other countries as well. Tell us about that. How was the experience? For those companies that are thinking of expanding, I know many people who watch this show from across the world. They might be in Australia, they want to expand to Botswana or Africa. They might be in Cameroon, they want to expand to SADC. They might be in SADC and they want to expand to Europe and things like that. What are some of the lessons in terms of diversification and expansion?
Botswana's size of the market was smaller. So that's why whatever dreams you have, you can only get so much from this market. So that's why we decided to expand into other countries. And it's paid off to some extent.
Okay.
As I say, we do also make mistakes. Sometimes some countries are not profitable as others. But overall, the places where we operate now, like Botswana, Zimbabwe, Zambia, that's the 4 countries currently we are operating.
Right.
All of them are showing good signs of success. And in some cases, the brand have even accepted better in those countries than in Botswana.
Okay.
Like for example, Zambia, we are a number 2 player in 5 years' time.
Wow.
In the country. Yes.
Wow. What could have been the secret?
No, we run an organization without any limit into the society. It's a corporate citizen who lives in the society, in the community.
Wow.
So that makes the brand acceptability much more faster and quicker in other countries.
So it's not just about making money, but making sure that you empower the community and the community will empower you.
Empower us as well. So like, for example, wherever there is a local manufacturer, we make sure that we support that. Whether it is a farmer or a small-time manufacturer or even a cottage industry, doesn't really matter.
Okay.
Wherever we can, we will support the local industry.
Wow.
We don't try to import goods from outside.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Now, when we visited your office for the first time yesterday with my team, the way you treated us was very outstanding. And I must emotionally say, it's very rare to meet a person like you. One would think that coming to your office, but we arrive right from the gate. The security is very courteous. We get to the reception. We are treated courteously. We get to your personal reception. We are treated courteously. And because we had an appointment, you were ready for us. And immediately we are ushered in. And I see you for the first time. And you smile with your very infectious smile. And everything just flowed. We felt like we are part of your family. And the way you talk to your team, your staff members, it's exceedingly amazing. What is your secret? I know you didn't expect this one, but I have to ask it because I think other entrepreneurs and business leaders out there need to know the importance of being great, but at the same time, very simple and caring and loving and creating an environment that is welcoming.
First and foremost, I'm proud of the culture of Botswana.
Culture.
Yes. Whereby we are very, very respectful to the visitors.
Okay.
You can see, I don't run a closed office.
I see.
The people who wanting to come and see us, we have taken out the downstairs, the chairs and table because of the restriction on the COVID-19.
Right.
Otherwise, we always have the chairs and tables waiting for the people. And anybody, if I'm around, I'll meet people. Then it's absolutely, if I got no set appointment, if people comes in, I will try to squeeze in between my fixed appointments. I tell them you might wait maybe 15 minutes or 30 minutes.
Right.
Beyond that, unless I'm in a board meeting or somewhere, then it's a different story. But otherwise, we run an organization which is plain and simple.
Plain and simple. So this is very intentional.
Success should not go into the heart. It should stay in the brain.
Wow. That's very deep. Success must not go into the what?
Into the heart.
Into the heart.
It should go
in the brain.
In the brain.
Wow. So the Setswana culture, where we welcome visitors and we care about people, you bring that into your organizational culture in Choppies. And you don't even look at, look, I'm Ram, I'm known all over the world and I'm a big guy. Everybody must know that I'm here. And you just simplify things. It's amazing.
That's how we run this organization, right? So, even though the size is big, it is still a modest grocery retailer.
Wow. This is pretty amazing. I'm telling you, it's not many places that are like this. Yeah, it's not many places. So going back to entrepreneurship, how does somebody spot opportunities and make sure they capitalize on them?
You look for the right opportunity. There are opportunities all over the world.
Okay.
So we need, once you find that this is the right opportunity, that's a growth pace I can get, and you grab it.
Okay.
And put in a plan, put a dream in place. I would say emotionally you should have a dream, and economically you should have a plan.
Right.
So then you follow that.
Right.
You follow the emotional dream and the economic plan. And you get
emotional dream and the economic plan. Wow. That's amazing. Would you like to elaborate more on that? Because I know obviously many small entrepreneurs, they have a business plan.
Yeah. I'll tell you, like Choppies, when we started, our first economic plan was to get to $1 billion puller turnover.
All right.
Okay.
You have to have some figures in your mind.
Exactly. So we had a plan of economic plan of getting to $1 billion puller turnover.
Right.
The next target was more emotional, in the sense 10,000 people employment. It got nothing. It got nothing to do with your money or anything like that. So
you are getting me excited. So you have a target for the money. You also have a target for employment, the number of people to be employed.
We are in a country where we got the unemployment is the biggest problem.
Right.
So on the other side, on the emotional side or the social side, we had a plan of getting to 10,000 people.
Wow.
The next target was $1 billion turnover and 25,000.
Okay, there was $1 billion puller.
Yeah.
Now this is $1 billion.
Yeah.
Okay.
And 25,000 people employed.
Wow.
So we reached to $1 billion turnover.
Wow. But
when we sold South Africa, we had to come down, but we'll go back there again.
Right. Very optimistic,
yes,
man.
And we got employment also gone up to around 17,000 at one stage. Now we got back to around 12, but we'll get to the 25,000.
Wow.
Yes,
wow. The target is still there.
Yes.
Wow. That's amazing. So I know that some people watching us are not from Botswana. They might want to know how many stores are we talking about now in Botswana and
we
in
got
Zimbabwe?
91 stores in Botswana.
Right.
We are operating 152 stores currently.
Right. Wow. Wow. Like all of them.
All of them.
152 stores. That's not a joke. We'll get to that when we come to talk a bit about leadership, about business leadership. We will want you to give some tips in the second segment. But right now, I wanted to say, for example, myself, I love researching. I love leadership consultancy. I do executive coaching. That's my passion. So one day I was talking with somebody and I was telling her that, you know what? So-and-so is doing very well. He's just bought some trucks. And this person says to me, what about your vision of trucks? You once talked that you wanted to do trucks. Then I said, no, trucks will come. But I need to make sure my legs as a global speaker and consultant and executive coach are at a global level. Then when I've established myself there, I can move on to trucks. Because I see myself as probably, one could say, in the speaking field, maybe somebody could say I'm at a tertiary level of success to a certain extent, right? And then if I start tracking now, it's like I'm going to preschool. I'm starting afresh. So what would you say to our entrepreneurs? Because there is a tendency, you are a consultant, you are an executive coach like myself, you are a leadership consultant, and somebody else is doing tracking. You say, let me leave this one, or let me continue with this one, but I'm also going into trucks. Then you see somebody who is doing combis, you say, I'm doing well in combis. You also want to start a combi business. You see somebody who is running butchery, you say, I'm doing butchery. What advice would you give? Because many times our people call it diversification. Would you call that diversification?
Diversification has to be done when you already got a proper success in one field.
Proper success in one field.
Where your foot are strong, and it's not going to be shaky for a distant future,
right.
Then you look at diversifying. If you just, when you yourself, the position is not confirmed or position is not firmed up, and you try to do another diversification, you may end up losing everything.
Thank you.
It's very, very important. And whatever you do, you try to do after understanding the business. And you should be able to enjoy. If you're getting involved in a business or in an activity, that should be an enjoyable activity.
Right.
You should be one of the outliers there to get into that, to the game of the game.
Excellent. So I hope you are hearing it, guys, from Ram himself, that it's important for you to consider, putting your foot in one industry, become successful there before you start trying everything everywhere. I think on entrepreneurship, we have said quite a lot. We will be going into the second segment where we'll talk about leadership. I don't know whether you have something specific. You can face the camera and talk to the people, just to inspire the graduates who don't have jobs right now, who want to start, and those who have already started, and those who are successful. What else can they do?
I would say that you must love what you do and do what you love. You bound to have sacrifices before you get to the success. There is a conscious beyond law. Be objective. As I said earlier, success should only go to the brain. It should not go to the heart.